All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Because honestly, if you've ever felt like your AI is just, regurgitating the entire internet instead of actually helping you solve a problem, well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're unpacking a really transformative framework by Jin Lee. It's called QCraft, and it's literally designed to upgrade your daily AI interactions from those boring generic search queries into high-level strategic partnerships. Let's get into it.
Now, think about a request like, help me write a recommendation for my manager about changing how we handle project handovers. That is exactly how most of us talk to AI, right? We just throw what we call a naked prompt at it. And sure, on the surface, it seems totally fine. But delivering a naked prompt like that, it almost always spits out these completely generic, impersonal outputs. It's basically just giving you the average of all possible situations on the internet. It is definitely not a solution to your specific problem.
Which really begs the question, are you prompting in NPC mode? Because the core issue here isn't actually what we type into the chat box. It's what we completely fail to think about before we type. We kind of act like passive NPCs just wandering into a tavern, expecting the AI to magically read our minds. And then when it hands us generic garbage, we blame the tool. We leave the AI completely flying blind, without any real coordinates.
So, Section 1. Declare your mode first.
Before we even get to the nuts and bolts of writing a better prompt, we need a massive paradigm shift in how we approach the AI. You see, every single AI interaction has layers. And declaring one of these three modes up front, that basically sets the contract for your entire conversation. You've got learner mode, where the AI is your thinking partner. Director mode, where you hold the strategy and the AI just executes your exact specs. Or delegate mode, where you're completely handing off a well-defined task. If you don't pick one of these, the AI is just going to guess. And honestly, its default guess is almost never what you actually need.
Now, out of those three, the absolute most critical and probably most underused node for intellectual growth is learner mode. This is where the magic happens. This is where your thinking actually improves because the AI helps you understand your own problems better. You're explicitly telling it, hey, don't just give me the answer. Ask me what you need to know first. Surface my hidden assumptions. It transforms the machine from a generic answer dispenser into an actual mentor.
All right, moving on to Section 2, the QCraft framework.
So instead of just desperately copying random internet templates, we're going to use a discipline. Enter QCraft. It stands for question, context, role, aim, format, and test. It's like a giant puzzle, right? Your question is the precise thing you need. Context is your background. Role is the persona the AI should take, maybe a developmental editor or a Socratic mentor. Now, elements like aim are huge because they give the AI a bigger picture direction of travel. And the test element? That brilliantly anchors both of you to what actually makes the successful answer. You are literally defining the finish line before the race even starts.
Which brings us to Section 3, mastering the context element.
Okay, so out of all 6 elements in QCraft, context is the one that trips people up the most. Hearing, just give the AI more context, sounds great in theory, but without a deliberate method, we just end up either over-explaining completely irrelevant details or leaving out the crucial pieces the AI desperately needs. To fix this, we use the 5W and 1H method. It's an absolute context-building engine. You don't have to write a novel here. Just answer enough of these, the who, what, when, where, why, and how, so the AI has genuine coordinates to work with. Seriously, the next time the AI gives you something totally off base, ask yourself, did the AI actually fail, or did I just not tell it what it needed to know?
Let's see this in action. Section 4, before and after. So let's look at an 18-year-old trying to pick a college major. With 0 coordinates, they just toss a naked prompt at the AI. What should I do? But in the structured journey, they declare learner mode. They give their age and background as context. For role, they demand a Socratic mentor. For format, they instruct the AI to ask only one question at a time. And for the test, the session is only deemed successful if they actually understand what they need to decide.
The results are, no joke, night and day. That naked prompt, it triggers the AI to spit out a generic, impersonal list of pros and cons that could apply to literally anyone. It's technically coherent, sure, but practically useless. But look at the structured side. Because of the QCraft prompt, the AI actually steps into that Socratic mentor role. It asks, when you imagine yourself 10 years from now, which version of the work feels more like yours? Wow, right? It forces the student to think deeply about their own life. It doesn't decide for them, it helps them decide for themselves. That is a real game changer.
And we see the exact same triumph in director mode. Picture a professional trying to fix project handovers. By providing context, like say, a manager who absolutely hates long emails,
and a strict test metric that the manager should only ask about implementation, not whether the problem is real. The QCraft prompt yields a highly specific blueprint, a document that is ready to send tomorrow. Not some watered-down average template, it's perfectly tailored.
Section 5. The context file habit.
Now there is a catch. AI doesn't reliably remember things between sessions. It has the memory of a goldfish sometimes, remembering fragments but rarely the full picture. So enter the context file. This is the personal context file template that you should, actually literally, copy and paste into every single new AI session. It establishes who you are, how you work best, and your standing context. That's the background stuff that never changes. And then underneath all that, you just plug in your mode declaration and today's specific QCraft prompt.
What this does is create a beautifully simple two-step daily discipline. Step 1, paste your context file, handling the background that's always true. Boom, that takes 5 seconds. Step 2, fill in the QCraft prompt with what is true for today. That takes maybe 1 to 3 minutes tops. That tiny upfront investment of time, it will radically change the quality of the output you're going to get.
You can even take this a step further. You can actually use QCraft to build QCraft. If you have recurring tasks, like coding, writing a weekly newsletter, or strategic planning, declare learner mode and have the AI interview you. Ask it to surface your specific preferences, audiences, and constraints for that task, and then have it draft a hyper-specific role-based template for you to use from then on. It's brilliant.
Ultimately, the entire philosophy of this explainer really boils down to a simple 3-word default discipline: no naked prompts. It is the core habit that separates the person who uses AI reactively from the person who uses it intentionally. We have to stop asking the machine to guess our context.
And you know what the most beautiful part of all this is? As you practice this, the labels, the Q, the C, the R, they just act as training wheels. Eventually, this entire framework moves below the surface. You'll stop needing a checklist altogether, and you'll naturally start writing highly deliberate, deeply contextual paragraphs because your brain has literally been rewired to think this way. Which leaves us with one final, pretty exciting consideration. What happens when the labels disappear and QCraft just becomes how you think? How much more could you achieve when the AI isn't just a basic search engine, but a permanent elevator of your own intentionality? Think about that before you type out your next prompt.